Welcome. In this video, we will discuss about a deeply powerful and beautiful truth. How you became completely untouchable to the people who tried to hurt you, and how every dark piece of hate they throw your way is now bouncing right back to destroy their own lives instead. So, let's start. Oh, welcome back, you rare, unbreakable soul. The one they just can't seem to break down no matter how hard they try. They have been throwing their absolute worst at you, haven't they? Every nasty whisper, every trap, every deeply planned knife to the back, made to force your face into the dirt. But listen to what is making them completely crazy right now. Every single hit they throw at you does not just miss your heart. It flies right back and ruins their own lives instead, like a hidden shield of light around your body. It grabs their hate in the air, turns it right around, and sends it crying back into their own world with 3 times the pain. They are not just failing to make you cry anymore. They are literally digging their own graves every single time they try to mess with you. And the most beautiful part is, you are not even fighting back. You are just living, just breathing, just walking through your days with that calm, powerful peace in your chest. And somehow, that soft quiet is enough to make their evil plans fall apart like a fragile house of cards. They throw heavy stones, and the stones turn around in the sky. They dig deep, dark holes, and they fall into them before you even walk by. They tell awful lies, and somehow the clear truth comes out in a way that makes them look totally crazy. You have become the kind of person who never needs to fight back, because life itself fights for you now. And that is exactly what is tearing their minds apart, because they have tried every dirty trick in the book. They tried to leave you all alone, hoping you would break down crying without their love. But you did not break down. You grew so beautiful in the quiet. You found your true soul in the empty space. They tried to ruin your hard work, hoping to crush your dreams. But every single door they slammed shut pushed you toward a much brighter room. They tried to spread dirt, hoping to make people hate your name. But everyone who heard their lies ended up looking like a fool when your pure truth shined through. They tried to mess with your head, hoping to make you think you were crazy. But your gut feeling only grew stronger. They tried to replace you, hoping to make you feel like trash. But you just completely leveled up your whole life, leaving them stuck with cheap, empty copies who just remind them every single day of the rare gem they threw away. Every single bad thing they did to hurt you became the exact stepping stone that helped you fly higher. Let me tell you the deep truth of what is going on here. This is not just blind luck. This is not an accident. This is pure justice. This is life finally making things fair, because you have been taking heavy blows for way too long, taking the blame meant for them, swallowing your own tears just to keep things calm, and hiding your beautiful light just so they could feel special. And at some point, a higher power looked at all the heavy pain you carried and finally said, "That is enough. This kind heart has suffered for things they did not do. It is time to hand them all the joy they deserve." And now, every single drop of hate they try to push onto you gets caught, turned into bright light, and shot right back at their own lives like a heavy wave. They are no longer your enemies. They are now drowning in their very own poison. You have felt it deep down, haven't you? The magical way things just fall into place for you now, even when it seems impossible. The way the people who wanted to ruin you suddenly watched their own lives fall apart, and you did not even lift a single finger. The way the awful whispers they start somehow show the world their own ugly secrets. The way huge doors swing wide open for you right after they try to lock you in the dark. The way your quiet peace speaks so much louder than their angry screams. It is not a magic trick. It is not a fairy tale. It is just the absolute rule of life. They are throwing out dark, bitter poison. But your heart is so pure now, so full of true light, that their dark poison cannot even brush against your skin. It just flies right back to the one who sent it, like a bad letter that cannot be delivered, sent right back home. And the thing that is truly breaking their cold hearts is that you are not fighting back at all. You are not planning anything. You are not trying to get even. You are not even looking their way anymore. You are simply living your beautiful life, free, happy, and deeply at peace. And that total lack of care is the sharpest sword you could ever hold, because it means they can never trap you or control you again. They can never play with your feelings to make you angry and upset. And when a toxic person can no longer make you cry, they lose all their power, all their grip, all their meaning in your world. You became totally, completely safe from their dark clouds. And now their angry attacks are just dead air, just silly noise, just sad cries bouncing around a lonely room, while you are building a beautiful life in pure, sweet silence. They really believed they knew your soul. They thought they had you all figured out, put into a tiny box, marked as weak and easy to push around. But what they completely failed to see is that every single time they made you cry, every time they ignored your worth, every time they treated you like dirt, you were getting smarter. You were watching. You were growing in deep ways they could never ever see. You were not falling apart. You were turning into a powerful force that they have no idea how to handle. Someone their old, cruel games cannot hurt anymore. You completely healed and grew a new heart. While they are still stuck playing the same tired, mean games, their attacks now are like throwing pebbles at a giant steel wall. You do not even feel the hit. Look, most normal people, when they get hurt really badly, they either completely break down or they hit back hard. They either cry like a helpless victim or they become cruel themselves. But you did something so incredibly rare. You became empty space to them. You stopped taking their heavy sadness into your heart. You stopped throwing anger back at them. You just let their hate pass right through your body and fade away into thin air, like someone trying to punch the wind. And that is exactly when their bad choices came back to bite them. Because hate does not just vanish when it is thrown on purpose. It has to hit a target. And since your heart is closed to it, it hits right back at their own lives. That is not you taking cold revenge. That is just life. That is pure, raw karma. That is the deeply fair rule of the world, doing exactly what it was always meant to do. Let's talk about the cold people who tried to ruin your good name. Do you remember their faces? The ones who said awful things about you when you were not in the room. The ones who took your kind words and turned into sharp knives. The ones who invented wild lies just to make everyone hate you. Yes, those exact people. Where are they today? They are fighting so hard just to look good, because every single ugly lie they told about you magically became the true story of their own sad lives. They said you were a liar, and now not a single soul trusts them. They said you used people, and now everyone sees how completely selfish they are. They said you were bad news, and now they are sitting all by themselves. They tried to make the world think you were the monster, and they ended up showing everyone their own ugly hearts. The whole story turned upside down, and they were too blind to even see it happening. Or what about the cruel ones who tried to block your path to joy? The ones who slammed heavy doors right in your tired face, who stole your hard work, who acted like they did what you did, who fought to make sure you never got the beautiful chances you earned. Think about them for a second. Where are they now? They are totally stuck, frozen, and falling apart. While you have flown so far ahead of them, they cannot even see the shadow of your wings. They honestly thought that stepping on your neck would make them taller, but all it did was tie them down to a sad place you left behind a long, long time ago. They are still crying over tiny pieces of bread, while you are throwing massive feasts. They are still begging for people to look at them, while you are saying no to huge gifts they could only cry for. Every single door they locked in your face forced you to build your own house. And right now, you own the entire castle. And then we have the cruel ones who tried to shatter your beautiful spirit, the ones who made jokes about your deep tears, who laughed out loud when you were bleeding, who kicked you hard in the ribs when you were already on the floor, who looked you in the eye and said you would fail, never get better, and never be worth anything at all. Those dark voices still bring you pain sometimes in the night, don't they? But here is the beautiful secret they do not know. You took their pure hate and used it as fire to keep you warm. You looked at their ugly doubts and promised yourself you would never be that cold. You took every harsh word, every time they ignored you, every single heavy minute they made you feel like total trash, and you turned it all into a solid rock of deep self-love that no hateful person can ever break again. And today they have to sit and watch you shine so bright, and it burns them inside out because they cannot understand how. How is someone they broke into tiny pieces still standing so tall and proud? This bright shield of safety around your heart is not something you planned to make. It is something that grew all on its own because of the beautiful soul you turned into. It grew when you finally stopped begging them to like you, when you stopped crying for their love, when you stopped trying to explain your good heart to people who deeply wanted to see you as the bad guy, when you stopped begging to sit with people who never truly loved you anyway, when you bravely walked out of every room that forced you to hide your true big self, when you chose a quiet heart over showing off and choosing to be alone instead of having fake friends, you woke up a deep, ancient magic inside you, a pure strength they cannot ever fight. You stopped letting them near your soft heart, and that is exactly the moment you became totally safe from their harm. They cannot break what they cannot touch. They cannot make you bleed when they cannot get close to you. They cannot crush a spirit they are too blind to see. And you have become all three of these things, too far away, completely closed off to them, and totally beyond their small minds. You are living in a world of pure peace that is so far away from their messy drama that their hateful words simply fade into the wind before reaching your ears. It is like they are screaming until their throats bleed into an empty, dark sky, and the sky is just smiling quietly down at them, because the sky knows a secret they do not. You are not hiding from their punches anymore. You have simply grown big wings and flown far, far above their sad little war. Let me share with you what happens from here on out, because this is the part that will make you smile. The harder they try to hurt you, the more their own lives fall apart. It is like they are trapped in a dark cage. They cannot get out. They watch you smiling and glowing, and it makes them deeply sick with anger. So, they try to throw dirt at you again, and that dirt blows back into their own eyes and somehow makes your life shine even brighter. And that makes them cry with even more jealous rage. So they try even harder to ruin you, and it blows up in their face even worse. And this keeps happening until they are completely eaten alive by their own deep sadness and hate. All while you are just out here enjoying the warm sunshine, completely blind to their tears, because you stopped looking back at their sad lives a long, long time ago. You have become the bright mirror they are terrified to look at, because every single time they see your beautiful face, they see the person they could have been if they had not spent their whole life trying to make others cry. They see the sweet peace they threw away just to create messy drama. They see the beautiful life they burned down just to feel important. They see the good person they murdered inside themselves just to look cool to toxic people. And it keeps them up at night because deep in their bones, they know you are not glowing just because you were born lucky. You are glowing because you made choices they were too weak to make. You chose to heal your bleeding heart instead of making others bleed. You chose to learn and love instead of staying angry and mean. You chose to fly while they chose to stay down in the mud. And that exact brave choice, that is what built your shield of light. That is what made their hate bounce back on them. That is what made your soul completely impossible to break. This peace was not handed to you. It was not a lucky day. It was not a random mistake in the stars. It was the true result of your pure heart. It is simply you getting what you gave. It was you putting good, sweet seeds into the dirt while crying in the dark, while they were busy throwing sharp nails at people in the daylight. And now, the season to collect the crops has arrived, and your garden is full of beautiful, sweet fruit, and theirs is totally rotten, and they are choking on the bad taste. And the heavens are just looking down, shaking their head, and saying, "This is exactly what you get when you waste your whole life trying to crush a beautiful soul you never even owned." They prayed to see you weak and crying, but you grew roots so deep you cannot be moved. They pushed you to stay quiet, but you found a roar inside your chest. They ordered you to stay tiny and hidden, but you grew so huge and bright they do not even recognize you. They begged for you to disappear, but your name became written in the stars. They tried to snap your bones, but your heart turned into pure, solid diamond. And now every bullet they shoot at you bounces right off your chest and breaks their own lives into tiny pieces. You see, you did not just put up a little fence. You turned your whole body into a safe, strong castle. You did not punch back in anger. You became the giant storm they cannot escape, and they are waking up way too late to the hard truth. You were never their sad little toy. You were the fire sent to teach them a hard lesson. Here is the one thing their small minds will never, ever understand. You did not just make it out alive while they tried to stop you. You grew thick wings directly because they pushed you off the edge. Every single time they stabbed your back, it taught you who to trust. Every dirty lie they told taught you how sweet the truth is. Every time they left you alone in the cold, it taught you how to hug yourself. Every hateful punch they threw taught you how to stand up taller. They completely believed they were crushing your spirit, but they were really just hammering you like hot steel into a beautiful sword they could never imagine, never hold down, and never ever tell what to do. They were so blinded by their sick need to watch you cry, they missed the fact that you were using the fire they started to put yourself back together. Braver, smarter, sharper, and knowing your absolute true worth. You did not just survive their cruel games, you used their hate to build your pure power. And right now you walk down the street like a warrior who has looked pure evil in the eye and walked away with a smile. Your whole body moves differently. Your voice sounds differently. There is a deep, heavy power to your soul now, something real and impossible to ignore, something that makes weak people shift in their seats because they can feel the heat off your skin. They can feel deep down that you are not the old you anymore, that you have survived dark storms they would die in, that you were totally broken down to dust, but you rose from the dead and brought a piece of heaven back in your bare hands. A magic they cannot even name. A deep power that makes their silly little games look like a total joke. You have climbed to a mountaintop where their bad words are just wind, where their dirty looks are just their own sad shame, where their hate is just pure proof that you are winning at life. Because deep down, sad losers never spend their precious time looking at someone who is not shining brighter than them. And the pure fact that they are still trying to trip you, still whispering your name, still watching your life, means you are sitting right in the center of their minds, while they do not even cross your thoughts for a single second. You are the exact person they lose sleep over in the dark, the rare gem they hold everyone else up against. The bright star they just cannot wipe from their memory, no matter how much they cry trying to forget. And the absolute funniest part of it all, they will lie about it to the world, but in secret, they are obsessed with your life. They watch every step you take, desperate to know how you healed, how you made it through the fire that was meant to burn you to ash, how you built a castle after all the poison they fed you. how you found this sweet peace, this happy smile, this total beautiful freedom. Thank you so much for being here and watching this until the very end. If these words brought some peace to your heart today, please leave a gentle like, subscribe to keep growing with us, and share your beautiful story in the comments below. I read every single one. Remember how truly powerful you are. Keep shining your bright light, and I will see you in the next video. Take care of yourself.